We have all heard about childhood obesity, and many parents are discovering how it can be brought under control with just a few lifestyle modifications. With us today is someone who can truly speak from experience on the subject of weight loss. You've seen him on the Subway commercials, and today he delivers his message to kids all around the country. Jared Fogle, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Good
How
to
are you
see you.
doing?
I'm doing very good.
So I know that you help Subway in their fight against childhood obesity. But before we get into all the details about that, tell me, how did you lose your weight just by changing your diet?
Well, obviously, I've been putting on weight ever since I was a little kid. Unfortunately, by the time I was 20 years old, I weighed over 425 pounds.
Oh my gosh.
Had a 60-inch pair of pants, and just to give you a quick idea of exactly how big I was, I might as well show these early on just to give everybody out there a little view here.
That puts it into perspective.
This is the old 60-inch pair that have been made famous now in a lot of the commercials, and
oh my
of course, as a good visual to show people exactly how big I was. But I really needed to make some major changes. Obviously,
Yeah.
I'd been eating tons of junk food, tons of fast food. All kinds of things. And before I knew it, my weight was out of control. And eventually said, enough is enough. I need to make some major changes. Now, what was I going to do it?
So did Subway come to you? How did that relationship begin?
Well, I actually lived next door to a Subway restaurant, believe it or not, when I was in college. I went to Indiana University back in 1998, was a junior, had been looking for a way to lose weight.
Right.
Stumbled upon the nutritional brochure one day just by chance, and sort of a light bulb went off in my head, and I said, you know what? What if I were to eat 2 of these low-fat Subway sandwiches every day?
And you just, as a thought.
As a thought. I said, it sort of was one of those crazy random ideas I had back then, and I was full of random ideas, but I said, it's worth a shot. It was a little unconventional, of course, but I said, this adds up. The calories added up right. The fat grams added up right. If I did the turkey sub for lunch and the foot-long veggie sub for dinner, obviously without the mayonnaise, without the oil, without the cheese, and switched over to the baked potato chips as opposed to the fried chips, and then diet soft drinks. And I said, maybe this could work, and sure enough, it did. And in the first 3 months of doing that, I was able to lose 94 pounds, believe it or not.
You're kidding me.
At that point, kicked in a walking program as well, and coupled that with the Subway sandwiches, and in 1 year, dropped 245 pounds. And Subway didn't actually get wind of my story till well after the fact.
That's unbelievable. So Subway didn't come to you and say, would you like to lose weight?
No.
You did it on your own.
No,
and
exactly.
They said, wow, based on what we offer, this is what's happening.
Exactly right. And it was one of those, it was sort of an amazing thing. And I always say it's very surreal. They contacted me. There were some articles written about me locally back in Indiana. Subway got wind of the story. They contacted me and said, hey, we'd like to talk to you more about your story. They realized I was, I really did do what I said I did. And then from there, an idea came to do a test commercial, just as a sort of a testimonial. And that commercial just sort of took off. And here we are.
It's a dream story.
Almost 10 years later, and it's just insane.
So once you lost the weight, how did you keep it off?
Well, obviously, I just had to keep motivated. I had to keep mentally wanting it more than anything. I always say the mental aspect of it, I think, is the most important.
Right.
Your body has to adjust to eating less calories and less grams of fat. Obviously, it's very important.
Yes.
But mentally, you've got to fill the void. You've got to really maintain that motivation somehow. And I just really wanted it. I was fed up with myself. I didn't like who I had become. And I think that's really what propelled me to do it. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I got the weight off, but then you lose the weight, and you're like, well, you got to keep it off.
Yeah.
And that's just as important. Anyone who's fought the weight battle knows that.
Right.
And I think you really have to look at it as losing the weight is phase one. It's not the all-out, end-all kind of thing. You can't ever resume your old eating habits. And if you do, you'll put the weight back on. So I sort of looked at it, well, I'm going to sort of wean myself off the Subway sandwiches after a while, which I was eating them like once a day instead of twice a day. And then from there, I just realized, I can just do things in moderation. As long as I can eat whatever I want, I just can't eat too much of it.
So making those small changes really made a difference in your life.
Absolutely.
You also work with the American Heart Association, correct?
I do.
How did that start?
It's been a relationship that we've had with Subway now for quite a while now. Subway is actually the national presenting sponsor for the American Heart Association Heart Walks all over the country.
Wow.
A fantastic organization to be associated with. Obviously, they have a very, very much a healthy message, and they really wanted to tie in with another company that was offering a similar kind of thing, and so that's how the relationship began. But I've gotten the chance now to go to 20 to 25 of these heart walks every year all over the country, and really
how amazing
it's
the energy
awesome.
Involved with that.
It is. You get several thousand people that come out on a given Saturday or Sunday and come out and walk. And I always say it's a great thing because not only are you coming out to do something great for yourself, but you're bringing in money for the Heart Association, which is all about fighting cardiovascular disease, fighting stroke, which right now are the number 1 and number 3 killers in America. So, it's, heart disease obviously is something that really touches everybody's life in some way. Almost everybody knows somebody who's either had a heart attack or, unfortunately probably will at some point. So it's great to know there's an organization out there like the Heart Association that is really fighting back. But I think even more importantly for an individual person is that you come to these heart walks. Maybe you're not so into fitness right now. You're not so into health yet.
Right.
But you bring your family with you. And after you experience these heart walks, hopefully you'll continue walking on your own and really get your life back in check yourself.
Absolutely. Well, that brings to mind to me what Subway is offering. I know they're offering a lot of healthier menu options for kids. Tell me a little bit about that.
Absolutely, yeah. It's called the Subway Fresh Fit Meals now, and there's it's a new design kids pack, and really, obviously, Subway has always, I think, been known for the last few years for obviously offering healthier menu options, but they really upped it one more notch by now revamping the kids pack entirely. So it's a slightly smaller sandwich. It's called a mini sub, and then that comes with either choice of apples or raisins now, and a bottle of low-fat milk.
No French fries. I
like that. No French fries. Unfortunately, we already know that there's too many of those out there anyway.
Yes.
And, the kids really seem to enjoy it. It tastes great. Mm-hmm. They feel better about themselves. They have more energy.
Makes them want to go outside instead of staying inside in front of the TV.
Absolutely.
Well, the holidays are right around the corner. Obviously, with the holidays, there's more food, definitely more desserts. For a kid who is really starting to change their lifestyle and becoming healthier with it, what advice would you have for those kids who are coming into the holiday season?
It's tough. I mean, this is the toughest time of year.
For everybody, right?
For everybody, me included. I mean, we all, as a society that likes food, we tend to have our family gatherings around food. That's the main setting. And so I think it's just important to realize, it's okay to maybe eat a little bit more than you normally would, but just try to still keep it in moderation.
And keep that goal in mind, right?
Absolutely, and that's really what it's all about.
And what final message would you share with the parents who have children who are really having issues with their weight right now?
Well, it's tough. Obviously, childhood obesity is a huge issue in this country.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is. It's not going anywhere. Unfortunately, we all seem to know there's a problem about it. It's just trying to find the solutions. Obviously, it is exciting to see Subway sort of lead the way and try to take charge in that area. But bottom line is parents have to sort of take control of it. They've got to prioritize it and really make it a family effort. Make sure you're talking to your family physician. Make sure you're talking to a dietitian. Obviously, make sure your child... Every child's a little different, so you got to find out what's going to work best for your child. Keeping in mind they're still growing, obviously, but at the same time, just trying to limit the things that aren't so good for them and making sure maybe they eat a little more fruits and vegetables, they exercise a little bit more, do those things that are really good for them.
Make it a family effort.
Absolutely.
I want to thank you so much, Jared. You're truly an inspiration to so many people. And with you and Subway working together with the American Heart Association, you're making it possible for families to see that you can have a very healthy lifestyle. It's great.
Absolutely. I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
My pleasure. And thank you, everyone, for joining us today on our holiday special. On behalf of the staff and crew here at W The Women's Show, I want to wish you all a safe, joyful, and very happy holiday season. I'm Chanel Hart. See you next time. The percentage of overweight children between age 6 and 11 has more than doubled in the last 20 years.